to us. Which part of that was on there?
All right, we're back.
And I did it again.
Oh, we did it again. All right, so let's just the elephant in the room. The most dangerous thing in America is Tiger Woods driving. All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Welcome to Cyber Unfiltered. We are having some fun today. Not at Tiger Woods' expense, of course, because he might sue us. So allegedly, we'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
This is a fun week. Matt's your kids are on spring break, right?
Yeah. It's I spent the morning at the office, and then I kind of trade off with Kristen when I come home because she's work from home. So it's interesting. It's interesting when you work and your kids have nothing to do. I feel like it's pre-game for summer, and we're very out of practice.
Man,
and you got a full house now.
Yep, all 7 kids are here.
Angie's getting ready for camping. I'm not sure I'm quite there yet, but you have a couple nice warm days. It's like camping season. So
yeah, I'm ready. I started eyeing up the camper and cleaning it.
Well, you know what's going to irritate me though? This is a good segue. This is a perfect segue. When I go camping, I can't escape the creature comforts of home. Some people like to call it glamping. I like to call it having internet so I can actually do stuff.
Yeah.
So, I have 2 options for internet. I have Starlink that's limited. So just in case we're in a situation, and you have Starlink too, just in case I'm in a situation where I can't get any cellular, I will pay for Starlink. If I have cellular, I use one of the big 3 to have a router in my camper that broadcasts Wi-Fi so that we can enjoy certain things. It could be sitting outside watching a basketball game, a football game, a baseball game, whatever.
You made that router at home in the USA though, right?
Ooh, that's the problem. So fun fact, Starlink are made in Texas.
Which I only learned today. That was surprising to me.
Well, let me phrase, they're assembled in Texas.
From 99.9,000%, for parts, I'm sure.
Right. And where we're going with this is the FCC, in their infinite wisdom, along with the Department of Defense, I refuse to call it the other thing, and Department of Homeland Security, have decided that no foreign-made consumer routers can enter the U.S. market. So if they're being sold right now, they're fine. If they've already been sold, they're fine. But they can only get firmware updates until March 1st of 2027. And the reason, why do you think the reason is?
Do you really want the answer? I don't know what the real reason is, but the claim is supply chain control.
Yeah.
And what happened with TP-Link.
Supply chain vulnerabilities affecting critical infrastructure and national defense. Now, let's think critically here for a second, shall we? If you are,
I believe you said consumer routers, right?
I did say that is a good catch. So we're worried about critical infrastructure and national defense because of a Netgear?
Well, that's what they got at the Pentagon, apparently.
They got a lot of things at the Pentagon. We're going to leave that one alone. They also said increased susceptibility to cyber attacks, espionage, and data exfiltration. And they demonstrated exploitation in major cyber events where they talked about Salt Typhoon. Salt Typhoon affected enterprise-level routers at telecoms. Not the shit you buy at
either, but whatever.
Not the shit you buy at Walmart. Like, this is so incredibly stupid. I can't even begin to. I can't begin to like figure out how not to be kind of relatively offensive on this. Look, home routers. People don't upgrade their home routers when they need to. They just use them to
they don't give a shit. If they have internet, that's all they care about at home. And honestly, that's okay.
They might not even know they upgrade.
Yeah,
and that has created bot farms, right? Like this firmware that has they have vulnerabilities, and then eventually, what will happen is the routers will become vulnerable because they won't get patched anymore. Auto patching may not be an option, and then they'll leave them on there, and then they'll be taken over, and they'll be using bot attacks. So people will just get
which is a problem. But this isn't how to fix it.
Absolutely a problem. But just going through and banning stuff without ever considering how long it would take to move manufacturing here, to move assembly here, to fix the supply chain attack. This is just, I don't know what this is. Like, there's a lot of things going on right now that are just idiotic, and this is
this one's loopy, and it's not really possible. Like, it's truly not possible to make the amount of routers we need for consumers in the U.S. I don't even know what kind of time frame.
Do you know what's probably a bigger risk? All the freaking TVs that get brought here.
Oh yeah. You ever this is slightly on topic. I don't watch too much, but have you ever like Wireshark sniffed traffic from one of your TVs? Just curious what it's doing even when it's turned off, because there's all kinds of data going back and forth.
Oh, buy a TCL TV and see how much.
Well, I have one. That's why I did it. I was curious.
Or IoT devices, or like anything you buy that just connects to your Wi-Fi. Like
coffee makers these days are probably a bigger threat.
Try buying a major appliance without Wi-Fi. Yeah, seriously,
it's hard. What? It actually is hard.
Yeah.
I want somebody to remotely turn.
Why the washing machine needs a Wi-Fi connection? I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty cool, because then it tells you when it's done. So
mine goes. It's old.
It goes beep.
So. This I'm going to sound real bougie here. We have a heat pump washer dryer combo that only plugs into 110. So it tells you when the washing is done and tells you when the drying is done. And then you can go.
You don't have to switch loads. So the difference is there's 2 of you. There's 9 of us. I need 6 of those machines.
Matt, you put one in each bedroom and then they let the kids do their own laundry and never see it.
Holy shit, Bob, you're a genius.
Well, it's actually pretty. I don't know how many. What is it? Quarts they measure them by? I'm not appliance expert. It will take a king size comforter, so you put a lot of clothes in there.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a GE. I love it.
Future big camper idea. All right, now that I took us off track, everything's just completely connected.
No, check. That's connected to my IoT network. That's my main network. Right.
Well, yeah, and to be clear, my TCL TV, where I saw weird traffic, that's exactly kind of where I think you and I are trying to get here. Is our devices can't talk to each other. They can't talk to anything but the internet to get our streaming services.
Yeah.
But my router's probably made in China. Sorry. At home.
So how many routers supplied by the cable companies are made in China?
Probably all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Probably all of them.
But here's the thing: you can apply for, you can apply for an exemption. So, but here we go back to everything else I've said. What are you going to do to get an exemption? So is this going to be some backroom dealings and stuff like that, to get an exemption? And it creates saying that all the routers are out there. Let's say you just bought a router, right? And it just stops updating firmware next year. That creates a bigger security hole than just not banning it.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, you said if you just bought it, you can still have it, right? They're in stock.
Yeah, that's not a security risk.
Firmware updates for more than a year. So basically, they've literally made it less secure, not more secure. They've literally gone the wrong direction.
If I buy version 2 of a consumer router today, it's okay. But if I buy version 3 tomorrow, that's already been approved and is shipping, but it hasn't came here yet, that's bad. That's literally what they're saying. There's no thought process to this. Here's the thing that
how are they going to enforce it too?
Vulnerabilities in this case are almost always software. There could be hardware vulnerabilities. They're mostly software. Why not put regulations in like Europe is doing, where you require the code to be looked at, require it to be secure by default, secure by design, and require them to actually submit the code. Maybe they have to submit the code for the code to be tested by an independent agency in the United States to validate that there's not any known vulnerabilities and things like that, and then force people to make updates for 5 years for a device. And this is literally what Europe is doing. It's called the Cyber Resilience Act. It's going in 27, and everything has to be secure by design. And what's funny is I said this the other day, and then I looked this up, and I'm like, wow, everything I just said is true. They require mandatory security updates for 5 years and vulnerability reporting to ensure that the safety throughout the product lifecycle. We should be doing this for phones, for TVs, for routers, for everything. Why are we just arbitrarily banning something with no plan, with no supply chain? It's going to create a bigger problem than what exists by not doing anything.
I can't explain it. I really can't.
So now that I've just created half the people in America probably hate me for this, but anyway,
Sure.
we sit here and we want to help protect businesses, right? This starts at the consumer level, but how fast is it going to go to enterprise routers? Because they're not made here either.
Mm-mm.
And all this other stuff that we talked about, none of it's made here. And to bring it home to reshore it is so stupid expensive, and it would take a decade.
It's something we're just not efficient at here. Like we're not very good at making chips here. That's the bottom line.
And it's going to take so much time. Like having smart regulation and having smart standards and guidelines is so important, and frameworks. Like we used to be at the pinnacle of innovation, and we value our privacy. And I'm sorry, innovation is moving to China. We're getting our asses kicked on this. And then as far as privacy and stuff like that, you can't beat the EU.
No, they're when did they put GPDR in place? It was like 6 years ago at this point, wasn't it? 6 or 7, and we still don't have anything that matches.
2018, I think. Yeah, 2018
okay.
GDPR.
Yeah, so it's 8 years. Look, so yeah, we still don't really have anything that matches that.
Yeah, and I'm not railing on this because I'm not trying. I'm far past politics in this, but it's just that for us to like protect businesses, for business to protect themselves, we have to start thinking. We have to start thinking deeper about how do we protect individuals, how do we protect businesses, but like forcing secure by design isn't a bad thing. Like they took out some of the stuff in an executive order for trying to force secure by design software before it's integrated into like the government. Why is that a bad thing? And people are like, well, that's too much regulation. Really? Because we're doing such a bang up job of not releasing vulnerable stuff right now.
But it wasn't really regulation as much as just saying, hey, maybe the device should come locked versus open, and you can choose to open it or not. That's really all it is.
Well, all the software too, like forcing vulnerability is actually pretty cool. So here's the thing. This is what I like about Europe. When they fine you, they give you a fine, and then they give you a percentage of your total world annual turnover or revenue. GDPR is 4%, and I think 20 million euro. If you violate this Cyber Resilience Act, it is 15 million euro or 2.5% of your total worldwide annual turnover. And I think it's basically the higher of the two.
That'll keep TP-Link in check.
Exactly. Put some teeth to some of this stuff. If you want, if you put teeth to it, you really want to have some fun. What Facebook get? What Meta just get fined, or they lost their lawsuit?
I can't even keep track. There's been so many little ones on and off.
It wasn't a lot for them though.
True.
Right. So, $725 million. $725 million. That was Cambridge Analytica. Hold on. That was the old one, which again was nothing for them. Let's do news. Let me find it. I want to make a point about this. I like the worldwide. I like finding by worldwide revenue because I think it actually is more deterrent than anything. Because when you find a company that's worth, I don't know, let me go look up the market cap of Meta. This should be fun. All right, what's market cap? 1.36 trillion dollars today. So they just Meta and Google lost that social media addiction thing, right?
A lot of zeros.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to find. I don't know. Maybe they didn't really say it. So let's say it's $3 billion. Let's just say it's $3
drop in the bucket for them.
Wait, the jury found Meta liable for $4.2 million in damages for social media harm. Really, they're worth 1.36 trillion, and they got fined $4 million.
And they made a lot more than that by being addictive intentionally. So that's a pretty good return on investment for them.
So what was the revenue? Let's do the revenue because this is a fun game of whack-a-mole. What was the revenue for Meta in 2025? What, $200 billion? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, $200 billion. So if you did GDPR, they would be basically 4% of that under gross negligence. So $200 billion, you know, something like $8 billion in fines. I think we go to 10%. I like 10%. I think that's a better.
You like 10%?
I like 10%.
Just a few more billion. Why not?
I mean, if we're going to deter people from just doing horrible stuff, or pass laws that ban them from doing certain things. But the point is like when you find somebody $4 million and they violate something, it's not a deterrent. When Europe is sitting out here saying we're going to do 2.5% if you don't do this, if you violate this, and it's worldwide, it doesn't matter where that income comes from. All right. Also during this, there's some other things that they banned, like drones and stuff like that. There are 4 that are actually granted conditional approval. 4. And that conditional approval only goes until the end of the year.
So all drones grounded.
Yeah, so we'll see about that. The point is
it's going to be interesting to watch, and it's not really feasible to enforce either, to be honest. I don't know how they can control the supply chain like that.
We want things to be more secure. We want to, Matt and I had a little bit of conversation off camera before we started. People need to be protected because they don't understand certain technologies. There are a lot of people out there that are swindling elderly, that are tricking them. They're doing stuff. We need to put in place controls and things like that that help those people be protected from that. This does not help any American family from protection. This is a burden. And if you're going to put a burden, put it on the manufacturer to make sure that things are secure. Like,
yeah. I don't care where it's made. I do like the idea of the code being verified, but with what you were hinting at, I mean, what Chris and I talked about off camera was a friend of mine's grandma got hacked, which really meant she didn't know the person messaging her on Facebook wasn't Microsoft trying to help her. Nothing to do with a router at all. It's just training, learning, being cautious. But also, I mean, there's really not teeth to a lot of the laws in catching these folks.
Especially when they're outside the United States, right?
Well, yes, and almost definitely was in this case, but not always. Everyone's homework is to watch Beekeeper. I know Chris hasn't watched The Beekeeper yet. It's like a cybersecurity John Wick. It's amazing. It's a great movie.
Now I have to watch it. Well, I'm going to Vegas next week.
Let's wrap this up for this week.
So let's kind of bring this back down a little bit. We need a better solution than just banning stuff. There needs to be regulations put in place that things are brought here in a secure manner. They're tested in a secure manner. They're forced to have firmware updates for a while. Like the software on the router needs to be updated automatically. It needs to be secure. It needs to be. We could have a regulation where it's provided to a government agency to scan it, or you just have to have a third party attest to the fact that your software is secure, and then you submit that for approval. And that's the requirement, not where it's manufactured. That's not something that can be fixed in the next 2 years, or the next what we got 8 months left of the year. It's not going to be fixed. So we got to demand better of the people making these decisions, because this is going to create a bigger problem than
it doesn't fix anything. It really doesn't.
It doesn't benefit anybody. So you guys, I will not be here next week if there's a video. I'm getting an award in Vegas. That's the one time I'm going to mention it. So
Chris is big time.
Yeah. I am talking on 2 panels.
It's a major award. I'm going to send you a leg lamp.
Major award.
Did you say lava?
A leg lamp to be delivered on stage.
Chris needs to go back to school with his movies here, I think, between Beekeeper and Christmas Story.
I don't watch a lot. I don't watch a lot of movies, honestly.
I'll get you the book version.
He's too busy reading the encyclopedia.
Too busy reading the encyclopedia.
We'll fill that joke in later. That's not really a joke, but we'll fill that thing in later. All right. Have a great week.
Anyway.
Bye, everyone.